I think it's important for people to realize that we have a great privilege of being here on this planet. And it's not a wealth privilege, and it's not a race privilege, and it's not a gender privilege. It is simply the privilege of being alive with air to breathe and water to drink and food to eat and relationships to have and these amazing experiences we can have. And I want to remind people that with that privilege comes a responsibility. And responsibility is not a heavy weight on our shoulder. It is simply the words responsibility, the ability to respond to the times. We need everyone right now. We need everyone showing up with all their gifts, all their talents, and to recreate this new humanity that remembers how to live in harmony and balance on this planet.
Man married an Osage woman, he would gain control over her head right. So you basically had white men killing their Osage wives to gain control over their financial wealth. This is the chilling connection to Ree Drummond, aka Pioneer Woman. Ree Drummond's family has historical ties to some of these head rights. Drummond's family, including Ree's husband Ladd, owns about 9% of this land, once belonging to the Osage tribe, valued at approximately $275 million. The Drummonds were involved in all kinds of questionable financial practices, leading to the exploitation of the Osage Nation. They gained their wealth through stealing from the Osage. The Drummond's family acquisition of land, including parts owned by William Hill, one of the few people to be convicted of the Osage murders, and their interactions with the Osage people are central to the narrative. This land that is currently owned by the Drummonds is soaked in Osage blood. There may have been over 100 murders so that white folks could steal Osage wealth. And the Drummond family to this day still controls a portion of some of these head rights. This is such a dark and ugly history. Feel free to share your thoughts in the comment section.
If you will look properly at our sisters, you will see why they are oppressed, and their men oppress them, and we oppress them in every area. The one area we cannot oppress them is on the front lines fighting for us. If you will look at the history of our people, if you know nothing about our people, you know the names of their heroes. And you will see that everywhere, women are on the front lines. From Queen Nzinga, to Yaya Santaway, to Harriet Tubman, to Sojourner Truth, to Harry Bethune, to Mary... You see, you know it, huh? To Fannie Lou Hamer, to Rosa Parks, to Angela Davis, to Assata Shakur. Everywhere are women on the front lines. We must understand our culture. It's our culture we must use as a weapon. Understanding my culture, it's easy for me to talk to brothers about the need to get up off our sisters. Y'all got to say, look here, brother, we sitting on them. You know what I'm talking about? We sitting on them. And while we sitting on them, they fighting the enemy with one hand, trying to mess with us with the other. You understand? Look here, if we get up off them, leave them alone, and just sit back down, they by themselves gonna take the enemy on. Brother was telling me the other day, you know, we are an endangered species. Who, us? We men, really, yeah. They gonna wipe us out. You know, when they wipe us out, only sisters gonna be left. What's gonna happen then? Then they gonna really have a fight on their hands. Matter of fact, if they're clever, they better keep us around. Women are fighters. But women cannot be effective fighters unless they are organized. Our women are fighters. You will see them everywhere on the front lines. But while fighting for us, we still oppress them because they are unorganized.
Contains descriptions and images of police violence. We turn now to Mississippi, where 6 white former police officers who called themselves the Goon Squad have pleaded guilty to raiding a home and torturing 2 black men earlier this year, after first trying to cover up their actions. Some of the officers face life in prison. On January 24th, court records show the deputies raided a home in Braxton, Mississippi, after a white neighbor of one of the officers called him to complain there were black men staying there. The officer texted the others, quote, "Are y'all available for a mission?" That night, without a warrant, the officers burst into the home, handcuffed, beat, tasered the two men, Michael Corey Jenkins and Eddie Terrell Parker. Also sexually abused them with a sex toy with shouting racial slurs. One of the officers put a gun in Jenkins' mouth for a mock execution and pulled the trigger. The bullet lacerated Jenkins' tongue, broke his jaw, exited through his neck. This is U.S. Attorney Darren LaMarca last week announcing federal charges against the former officers for the attack.
But not only did they brazenly commit these acts,